this is Dan from Snovio Labs. We're here with John and David from Yaytrade, and we're going to find out more about how to grow your company. Hey guys!
Hello, hello, nice to meet you.
Can you tell us a few words about your company? What do you do?
So Yaytrade is a marketplace where you can buy, sell, swap and rent out products and services. And you can purchase with anything that has a value. It means that you can pay with cash, or you can pay with a product, or you can pay with a service. And as a seller, it means that you can put the price on a product, and you can receive both cash offers or someone that wants to swap something with you, or actually paying with a service instead of just cash. Or you can make a combination of all of it. It's a platform based for consumer to consumer, but also business to consumer. And when it comes to business to consumer, it's more buying and selling.
And how many clients do you have right now? How many users?
We have 23,000 registered members from over 160 countries globally, and we launched the platform in end of November last year, a beta platform, and did the full launch in April this year. And since then we have actually grown organically, actually. Yeah.
And if you could tell us a few words about how you got your funding, how was the process like?
It was mainly contacting people we know, angel investors, friends and family from the start. Then moving on to a bit bigger angels, more investors that are well funded in Sweden, and people we know, basically. And now we're preparing for our A round, so now it's more against the VCs and companies.
What would you say is the secret to getting an angel investor interested in your product?
Oh, that's a hard question. It's a very hard question because all the investors are very, very different. Some looking at teams, some looking at numbers, some looking at product. So if you are good enough, you can find a mix of that and a great presentation. That I would say is the key of everything. Yeah.
And I would say honestly, when it comes to angel investors, I think most of the time they invest in the person rather than the business idea itself. So I think it's really important on who you are and how you present yourself and the team, because that is basically what the angel investor invests in. Of course, the idea needs to be good, but in the end, it's up to you guys who run the company to do it well. So a really good presentation of yourself is good.
Yeah.
And you're a pretty young company, so how many people do you have on your team right now?
We are 8 person working full-time with Yaytrade today. We have 4 in the tech developers. All of them are really high-skilled. We have 1 sales manager doing the sales for the business accounts that we have at Yaytrade, and then we have Jon, head of the marketing and also product, me working as the CEO, and then we have a marketing assistant as well. So it's a small team, but it's very efficient and skilled.
And you've mentioned before that all your developers are in-house, that you don't like using outsourcers. Why?
I mean, I wouldn't say that we don't like outsourcing IT. I think it's a good option to have if you don't have the possibility to have your team on site. But for us, we see a lot of benefits having that team on site because we are in control of the product. And I think that is really crucial in the beginning. So your CTO or the head of tech is actually knowing what everyone is doing, which can be a problem when you're outsourcing in the beginning. When you're working more in a module basis phase, then it can be good to outsourcing as a complement to your ongoing development on site.
And obviously, as a startup, a lot of startups face many issues along the way, on their way to success. What was your biggest issue or problem, or maybe an obstacle on the way to success?
I think the biggest challenge is that because since we are a marketplace, we both have buyers and we have sellers. We need to satisfy both of them, and first off we need to have content, but we also need to have the buyers who can come in and buy from that content. So it's both ways. So that's been my biggest challenge, and we are starting to reaching that top to get over that, and which is good for the market, and that's our biggest.
I think so too, and I would also say like a challenge for us has always been the developing team, because when we started the company we actually were working with a firm company that provided us with the fundamentals behind the Yaytrade platform. So we were actually outsourcing it a bit, but then as soon as we could, we took in the developers on site and in-house. So from the beginning it was always tricky to find the right persons to work with, and that you doesn't have to pay a fortune for as well.
Yes. I would say that the key is the key is the key roles in the company, CTOs and guys who knows and people who knows what they're doing. Because if you're finding people and you thought, okay, you're starting to get uncomfortable with these guys, are they doing the real job or are they doing a great job? Start thinking of changing those people out, because if you're too long with these people, then your business is not going to go well. So that's a very good point, I think. Just try to find the right people for the right positions, and not be afraid to cut people off if you don't feel this right. To be honest.
Yeah, and some people
We have done something wrong because you have learned from that. No.
some people have said that firing people from startups is actually one of the toughest jobs. And like, what's your secret to doing that? How do you let them go gently?
I think it's really difficult for everyone to do that, but in the end, you know, if you explain what you expect from an employee, then the employee also knows that if he or she under-deliver, then he or she knows that he or she is not doing a good job, and then the discussion will be much easier. So I mean, the tricky way to do it, I wouldn't say it's a specific key on doing it, but I think in the end it's just being honest and honestly let your employees know your expectations and what you expect them to deliver. And if you do that, then it will be easy to either continue with them or you kick them off.
And like we always say, communications.
Yeah.
Communication with employees and even between management also. To have communication between each other, because then we know what people think and what you think and so on. So communicate instead of not be afraid. Just communicate, I would say.
How do you actually take your communication to that perfect level? Do you use any specific techniques, like team management techniques?
We do.
Yeah, we do. But
I think it's as a startup, it's really important that everyone can learn from each other. So you share the knowledge in between, like squad teams. I mean, even if we were a really small company, we are working in smallest squad teams, and we meet, of course, every day, but we also have set meetings on Monday and Fridays. And on Fridays, we have it more open-wise. I always stand and talk about our KPIs, what we have succeeded and what we have been doing well for the week and what's not going that well or what we can improve. And then everyone as well, we go the round and everyone share their knowledge and what they've learned and what they could have been doing better. And I think if you have an open workplace like that, where no one is afraid of telling something that they can improve or what they did well, then it's easy to share, to communicate basically. Yeah.
So, the last question, what's your number one advice to anyone who thinks of starting their own business, their own startup?
just go for it.
Yeah, I would say as Nike, just do it, honestly, and don't forget to have fun, because this is really fun. Believe in yourself and what you're doing, and you will succeed.
Yeah. Don't be afraid, because if you start being afraid and start not thinking what you do is the great thing, then you're on a thin ice. Then you're on really thin ice. You start just believe what you're doing and then keep on going, I would say.